Okay, we're going to review solving equations. On this page, I'm going to write down some steps for solving that pretty much work in every situation. It's just a set of things to go through. I'm going to go through them kind of quickly because they are review, so make sure that when I'm done, you pause and get everything copied. So the first thing we do is simplify each side. That means if there are any distributing property to do, or if there's any combining like terms to do, anything extra that needs to get done to where you have a variable and a number only on one side is what you want to do. Okay, number 2. If there is a variable on both sides, eliminate the variable on one side. And that doesn't mean just cross it out. That means you have to use your algebra skills to eliminate it. So if you have a 4x on one side and a 2x on the other side, you would subtract 2x from both sides to eliminate the 2x that was on the right. So once you're down to everything simplified and there's only a variable on one side, you eliminate the constant, which is the number added or subtracted to the variable. And you eliminate it by adding or subtracting. And then finally, eliminate the coefficient. And the coefficient is the number that's multiplied by the variable. Okay. And we'll see in our examples how that works. So get all that copied just to be sure you have a checklist to run through. Now, what's going to happen is you will see some situations that are special. Of special cases. And in these special cases, a few different things might happen, and you need to know how to handle it. So the first thing that we're used to happening is you'll have a variable equals a number. If a variable equals a number, that means there is one solution. That's where we would get x equals 5, or y equals -2, or b equals 10. The next situation is going to be there's no variable at all. So there are no variables. There are no variables, and you get a number that equals itself. Okay, so we can even write and if the number equals itself, this is called infinitely many solutions. And the last special thing that you're going to see is a number does not equal itself. And in that case, we say no solution. So let's take a look at an example. And we're going to use this chart to decide how the answer is at the end. Okay, let's look at an example. Example 1, 3 times the quantity x plus 2 equals x minus 8. So if we go through our checklist, we simplify each side, and if you look, my left-hand side has a 3 that I can distribute. I'll also add the opposite just to keep things rolling. Step 2 is to eliminate the variable on one side. So I do have variables on both sides. I'm going to eliminate this one because it's 1x is less than 3x. And when I subtract both sides by x, I don't end up with any crazy negative variables. Okay, so now I'm going to eliminate the constant. The constant is this number that's being added. Subtract 6 from both sides. I end up with negative 2x equals negative 8 plus negative 6 is negative 14. Last step says eliminate the coefficient. The coefficient is the number multiplied by the variable. I undo it with division, and my answer is x equals 7. So this would mean I have one solution because x, the variable, equals a number. Okay, so our next example, 2x plus 3x minus 2 equals 5x, minus 2. Okay, so our first step in our list of equations to solve, remember we're just solving this equation, is simplify both sides. Okay, the first example we had distributing to do. Well, this example I have combining like terms. On the same side, I have a 2x and a 3x, so that will combine to 5x minus 2 equals 5x minus 2. I'm going to add the opposite. The next step is to eliminate a variable from one side. So since I have variables on each side, I'm going to eliminate one from one side. I'll pick the 5x over here to eliminate. Now, if you haven't noticed already, it looks kind of funny because you're probably telling yourself, well, hold on. Both sides have 5x. How do I decide which one to pick? It's a very big clue that this might be a special situation happening if you have the same variable on both sides. But we're just going to pick one and eliminate it. So I'm just going to pick this 5x on the right-hand side. Okay. And so I'm going to subtract 5x because that cancels to 0, and I have negative 2. But on the left-hand side, that also cancels to 0, and I have negative 2. Do you see how I have a number equals itself? If you look at your special cases list, if you have a number equaling itself, that means it's infinitely many solutions or many solutions. Okay. So again, we're just working through our equation solving. It just so happens that at the end, there's something special. Let's look at another one. 4 times the quantity x plus 1 equals 3 times the quantity x plus 1 plus x. Oops, excuse me. Yeah, let's do that. So again, our first step, simplify each side. So on the left, I'm going to distribute a 4. On the right, I'll distribute a 3. I get 4x plus 4 equals 3x plus 3 plus x. So my left-hand side is simplified, but if you look at the right-hand side, I have a 3x and another x. So I'm going to combine those to 4x. Okay, so I get 3x plus x equals 4x. Remember, this x is the same as 1x. 3x's plus 1x is 4x. So our next step is if we have variables on both sides, we're going to eliminate one. So let's pick this guy to eliminate. If I have a positive 4x, I subtract 4x. Do that to both sides. 4x minus 4x is 0. 4x minus 4x is 0. So I get 4 equals 3. Does 4 really equal 3? Will 4 ever equal 3? It does not. That's a problem. If I have a number not equaling itself, that means there is no solution. And if you think about it, what we're saying here is if the left side does not equal the right side, that means there are no x's or no variable anywhere that would work. There's no number I could replace the x with that's going to make 4 equal 3. Never. So because the left side does not equal the right side, it's impossible to balance out that equation. So there's no solution for this equation. If I look back at example 2 with the many, if I get -2 equals -2, that means every single x I could ever pick is going to work. So any x I ever pick is going to be the right answer. Okay, so most of the time, the variable equals one thing. Sometimes any x you pick would work. And other times, there's no x that will work. And that's where we get these special situations. So when you get those problems, you want to work through the equation solving steps like normal. And then when you get to your answer, if something weird is happening, look at the special cases and decide which one does it fit. And that's it.